Have you ever wondered if someone close to you might secretly harbor envy toward you? It's one of those emotions that can creep into relationships without making itself known right away. You might not even realize it's there. The person might smile, congratulate you on your successes, and appear friendly, but something feels off. That unease, that gut feeling you get after interacting with them, might be a clue. Envy often hides behind masks, hidden in compliments that don't quite seem genuine or in small comments that subtly undermine your achievements. It's the person who always has something sarcastic to say when you're doing well, who never seems truly happy when you succeed. Maybe they try to bring up their own accomplishments right after you've shared something exciting about your life, as if to overshadow your moment. Maybe they bring up the difficulties you're likely to face right after celebrating your promotion. It's subtle, often hard to pinpoint, but the truth is, envy might be quietly working in the background, affecting how you feel about yourself, your confidence, and even your happiness. But what's really scary is that it could be coming from people you trust, family members, close friends, or colleagues. The ones you think have your back may actually be struggling with jealousy, and that energy can sabotage your life without you even realizing it. The tricky thing about envy is that it doesn't always scream its presence. Instead, it creeps in like a shadow, hiding behind fake smiles and empty words of praise. In Buddhism, envy is recognized as a major obstacle to peace of mind, a low-frequency emotion that keeps both the person feeling it and the person it's directed toward stuck in negativity. It might seem harmless at first, maybe just a little bitterness or a sarcastic comment here and there, but envy has a way of growing, of taking root in the small cracks of relationships and slowly spreading its poison. You've probably felt it before, that subtle shift in energy when someone can't genuinely celebrate your success. It's as if their words don't match their feelings. On the surface, they might be saying the right things, but deep down there's an emotional dissonance, an undercurrent of discomfort that they just can't hide completely. And the truth is, you pick up on that, even if you don't realize it right away. Over time, being around envious people can chip away at your sense of self-worth, making you doubt yourself in ways that are hard to explain. Suddenly, you might find yourself questioning whether you deserve your success or if you're good enough, not fully understanding that it's the envious energy from others weighing you down. It's like being in an environment where the air is heavy, and no matter how hard you try, things don't seem to flow as smoothly as they should. That's what envy does. It blocks the flow of positive energy in your life. What's even more fascinating and a little frightening is how this emotion can stay hidden for so long. Envy often disguises itself in ways that make it hard to detect, especially when it comes from people we care about. Maybe it's a friend who always seems supportive, but you notice that their compliments feel forced. Or maybe it's a coworker who congratulates you on a job well done, only to follow it up with a list of reasons why it wasn't that impressive after all. It's easy to overlook these signs because they're usually subtle. And let's be honest, we don't want to believe that someone close to us could be envious. It's uncomfortable to think about. But the reality is, these small signs of envy can create a ripple effect in your life. According to Buddhist teachings, everything in the universe is connected through energy. And the emotions we cultivate, whether positive or negative, affect the energy around us. Envy, being a low vibrational emotion, drags down the overall energy in your relationships, creating an atmosphere of negativity and limitation. Have you ever wondered why, even when you're working hard and doing everything right, things just don't seem to fall into place? It could be because the envious energy around you is blocking the flow of positivity and abundance that you deserve. The energy we surround ourselves with is incredibly important, and when we're around people who are secretly envious, it can have a profound impact on our emotional and even physical well-being. When someone close to you harbors envy, it's not just an emotional burden. It can start affecting your health, your success, and your overall happiness. Buddhism teaches that emotions like envy are a form of mental pollution, clouding the mind and weakening our life force. Think about it. If you're constantly surrounded by negative energy, it starts to weigh on you, sometimes without you even realizing it. You might start feeling more tired, less motivated, or even physically unwell. And you might not make the connection that it's the energy of envy around you causing these feelings. Over time, being in an environment filled with envy can drain your vitality, making it harder to thrive and grow. That's the hidden danger of envy. It doesn't just affect the person who feels it, but it also reaches out to impact those around them. And the longer it goes unnoticed, the more damage it can do. But here's the good news. By becoming aware of envy's subtle signs and learning to protect your energy, you can regain control over your life and shield yourself from these negative influences. Envy often lurks in the shadows of our closest relationships, and it's important to remember that even people who care about you can struggle with feelings of jealousy. Maybe they don't even realize they're doing it. Maybe it's more about their own insecurities than anything you've done. But that doesn't change the fact that their energy can weigh you down. And if you don't protect yourself, you might find that envy has slowly chipped away at your sense of peace. Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of mindfulness and energy protection, reminding us that we have the power to keep our vibrations high, even when others are projecting their negative emotions onto us. Imagine how freeing it would feel to no longer be affected by the envious energy around you, to maintain your peace of mind, no matter what others think or feel. One of the most common and frustrating signs of envy is the subtle way people try to show support while keeping an emotional distance. Have you ever had someone give you a compliment that felt just a little off, like they were saying the right words, but there was no real warmth or enthusiasm behind them? This can be so confusing because, on the surface, they seem to be congratulating you, cheering you on, but deep down, you sense that they don't really mean it. You might brush it off, thinking you're being overly sensitive, but your instincts are probably right. Envious people often feel obligated to say something nice, especially in social situations, but their inner discomfort with your success leaks through in subtle ways. It's not always what they say, but how they say it. Maybe their tone is flat, their smile doesn't reach their eyes, or they quickly change the subject after giving the compliment. These moments can leave you feeling uneasy, like something isn't quite right. And that's because the energy behind the words is misaligned. The person feels conflicted. On one hand, they know they should be supportive, but on the other, your success makes them feel uncomfortable, as it highlights something they feel is missing in their own life. Buddhism teaches us to be mindful of the energy behind words and actions, recognizing when someone's intentions aren't as pure as they seem. This awareness helps protect your emotional space, so you don't get caught up in their emotional dishonesty. The problem with these kinds of interactions is that, over time, they can erode your self-esteem. Even if the person never openly criticizes you, their shallow support and emotional distance can make you second-guess yourself. You might start to wonder if your accomplishments really are that great, or if you're just imagining things. This is the subtle power of envy. It plants seeds of doubt, often without the other person even saying anything explicitly negative. And it's not just in their words. Envious people can also show their feelings through their actions, or rather, their lack of action. They might not show up for your big moments, avoid celebrating your victories, or simply stay distant when you need support. This emotional withdrawal can feel isolating, especially if the person is someone you care about or have always counted on. It's a form of silent sabotage, and it's just as harmful as direct criticism because it leaves you feeling unsupported and alone. Buddhism encourages us to cultivate discernment, not just in what others say, but in how they behave toward us. By paying attention to these subtle signs, we can learn to protect ourselves from the toxic energy envy brings without letting it cloud our own sense of accomplishment. Envy also shows up in the way people try to downplay your success. Have you ever shared something exciting? A promotion at work, a new project you're passionate about, or even a personal milestone, only for someone to respond with a dismissive comment like, "That wasn't so hard," or "A lot of people can do that." It's disheartening, especially when you've worked hard and feel proud of your achievement. These comments are designed to take the wind out of your sails, to make your success seem less significant than it really is. It's as if the person can't stand to see you rise, so they try to bring you down to a level where they feel more comfortable. It's important to recognize that when someone minimizes your achievements, it's usually more about their own insecurities than anything you've done. They might feel threatened by your success because it highlights something they feel they lack in themselves. This is one of the reasons envy is so toxic. It's not just about jealousy, it's about fear and insecurity. And these emotions can lead people to behave in ways that hurt those around them, even if they don't fully realize what they're doing. Buddhist teachings remind us that such attitudes of belittling others' victories come from an unbalanced heart. The envious person is struggling internally, feeling incapable of reaching the same level of success, and instead of celebrating your achievements, they try to devalue them. This behavior can create a vicious cycle where you begin to doubt yourself, thinking, maybe it wasn't that big of a deal, or maybe I was just lucky. This is exactly what the envious person wants, to pull you down to their level so that they don't feel left behind. But here's the thing, your success isn't any less significant just because someone else can't handle it. Buddhism teaches the importance of detachment, not seeking validation from others, but understanding that your worth isn't dependent on anyone else's approval. The more you can internalize this, the easier it becomes to rise above the negativity and stay focused on your own journey. What's even more damaging is when people don't just downplay your achievements, they try to explain them away as mere luck or chance. Have you ever had someone say, "You were just in the right place at the right time," or "It's all about who you know"? These kinds of comments take away from the hard work, dedication, and talent that brought you success in the first place. Envious people often can't accept that your achievements are the result of your efforts, so they chalk it up to luck or circumstance. This way, they can avoid feeling like they're falling behind. But in doing so, they also diminish the value of what you've accomplished, and that can sting, especially when you know how much effort you've put into reaching your goals. Buddhism teaches us about the law of karma, the understanding that everything we achieve is the result of past actions. Luck may play a role in life, but ultimately our achievements are the product of our choices, efforts, and perseverance. It's easy to get caught up in someone else's dismissal of your success, especially if they seem to think it's no big deal. But remember, their inability to acknowledge your hard work doesn't change the reality of what you've accomplished. Staying grounded in your own experience, aware of the energy behind their words, is key to protecting your peace of mind. Buddhism encourages us to practice equanimity, a state of mental calmness, no matter the external circumstances. Whether someone praises you or criticizes you, your inner sense of self-worth remains steady. This is a powerful way to protect yourself from the negativity that envy can bring into your life. By recognizing that their words reflect their own struggles, not your reality, you can maintain your emotional balance and keep moving forward on your path without being dragged down by others' insecurities. Envy has a sneaky way of turning every conversation into a competition. Have you ever noticed that when you share something positive about your life, there's always that one person who immediately brings up their own achievements as if to one-up you? It's exhausting because instead of feeling like you're sharing in a moment of connection, the conversation turns into a contest where they need to prove that they're just as good, if not better than you. This constant need to compare themselves to you isn't just annoying, it's a sign that they're deeply envious. They can't celebrate your success without feeling like it somehow diminishes their own, so they feel compelled to remind you and themselves that they're still in the game. Buddhism teaches that this need for comparison stems from ignorance, one of the three poisons of the mind. People who are stuck in this competitive mentality are actually at war with themselves. They're using you as a mirror for their own insecurities, And instead of focusing on their own growth, they're stuck in a cycle of comparison, which only deepens their dissatisfaction. The desire to constantly outdo others is a sign that they don't understand the deeper truth, that each of us is on our own unique path, and someone else's success doesn't take away from our own potential. For you, being on the receiving end of this competitive behavior can be draining. It's hard to stay positive and confident when someone is always trying to outshine you, especially when the competition isn't healthy or fair. In some cases, envious people might go beyond just comparing themselves to you. They might try to undermine you in more subtle, underhanded ways. They might spread rumors, criticize you behind your back, or try to damage your reputation in an effort to elevate themselves. This is where envy can become truly toxic, as it turns into a form of sabotage. Buddhism teaches that actions like this stem from an inflated ego, and that true peace comes from letting go of the need to compete. The more we cling to the desire to be better than others, the more we feed our own insecurity. The path to balance is through abandoning this competitive mindset and instead focusing on our own growth, recognizing that everyone's journey is different. For those of us who are targets of this kind of envy, it's important to steer clear of conversations or situations that feed into the comparison game. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Your success speaks for itself. The secret to handling this situation is recognizing that the real competition isn't with others, but within ourselves. Buddhism reminds us that the only person we need to surpass is the person we were yesterday. When you understand that your value doesn't depend on outdoing others, it becomes so much easier to maintain your inner peace. Envy can't touch you when you're confident in your own journey and committed to growing at your own pace. One of the most empowering lessons that Buddhism offers is the idea that even something as negative as envy can be transformed into an opportunity for personal growth. It's natural to see envy as something purely destructive, something to avoid or shield yourself from, but when you look at it through a different lens, it can actually become a mirror that reflects important lessons about yourself and your relationships. Envy, whether it's directed at you or something you experience toward others, is an emotion that reveals deeper truths about our inner world. When you notice someone is envious of you, instead of feeling hurt or defensive, take a step back and ask yourself, why is this person reacting this way? Often, the answer has little to do with you and everything to do with their own struggles, insecurities, and feelings of inadequacy. It's not easy to recognize this in the heat of the moment, especially when envy leads to behaviors that hurt or undermine you. But the power comes in realizing that their envy is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their inner pain. This understanding can help you maintain a sense of calm and compassion instead of getting drawn into a cycle of negativity. What's truly liberating about this perspective is that it frees you from taking envy personally. When you see envy as a sign that someone else is dealing with their own internal struggles, you can approach the situation with empathy instead of anger or frustration. It doesn't mean you need to tolerate toxic behavior or let people mistreat you, but it allows you to recognize that the problem lies within them, not within you. Buddhism teaches that emotions like envy arise from attachment, dissatisfaction, and ignorance. People who are envious are often stuck in a mindset of lack, constantly comparing themselves to others and feeling like they fall short. This realization helps you stay grounded in your own truth. You can use envy as a reminder that you are growing, that your success or happiness is unsettling to those who aren't at peace with themselves. Instead of letting it bring you down, let it be a validation that you're on the right path, moving forward in ways that might make others uncomfortable but are true to your journey. By practicing self-analysis, a core teaching in Buddhism, you can also use envy as a tool to reflect on your own emotions and desires. If someone's envy bothers you or makes you feel unsettled, take the time to examine why. Does it tap into a fear of being disliked? Does it bring up feelings of guilt about your success? Often, The way we respond to others' envy can teach us a lot about our own emotional landscape. When you explore these reactions, you gain valuable insight into your inner world, allowing you to grow emotionally and spiritually. It's not just about protecting yourself from the negativity of envy, but about using it as a catalyst for deeper self-awareness. The more you understand your own triggers and insecurities, the less power envy will have over you. This kind of introspection is a powerful tool for breaking free from the emotional traps that envy sets, both for the person who feels it and the person who is targeted by it. Another profound way to transform envy is through the practice of forgiveness and emotional detachment. When someone has hurt you through their envious actions, it's easy to feel angry or resentful, but holding on to that anger only keeps you locked in a cycle of negativity. Buddhism teaches that forgiveness is not about excusing the other person's behavior or pretending it didn't affect you. Instead, it's about freeing yourself from the emotional burden that their actions have created. When you forgive, you let go of the grip that their envy has on your life. You reclaim your emotional space and no longer allow their negativity to influence your state of mind. This doesn't mean you have to maintain a close relationship with someone who has been harmful, but it does mean that you're not letting their envy take up space in your thoughts or emotions. Forgiveness is a way of releasing yourself from the toxic energy that envy brings. Emotional detachment is another important practice when dealing with envy, whether it's from others or within yourself. Detachment in this sense doesn't mean being cold or uncaring. It means not allowing your sense of peace and happiness to be dependent on external circumstances. When someone is envious of you, they may try to pull you into their drama to make you feel guilty or unsure of yourself. Detachment helps you stay centered and calm, recognizing that their feelings are theirs to deal with, not yours. You can maintain your sense of inner balance by not getting caught up in their emotional storm. The same applies when you notice envy arising in yourself. Instead of being consumed by feelings of jealousy or comparison, you can acknowledge the emotion, understand where it's coming from, and then let it go. This practice of letting go is at the heart of Buddhist wisdom and is key to maintaining your emotional freedom. When envy shows up in your life, whether through others or within yourself, it's also an opportunity to strengthen your own path. Use the presence of envy as motivation to keep moving forward, to stay committed to your goals, and to deepen your own self-awareness. Buddhism teaches that the path to enlightenment is filled with challenges, and envy is one of them. But these challenges are not meant to stop you. They're meant to help you grow. Each time you encounter envy, it's a chance to reaffirm your strength, your peace, and your confidence in the path you've chosen. When you understand that envy is a reflection of someone else's inner turmoil, not a reflection of your value, it becomes much easier to stay focused on your journey. The more you strengthen your sense of self, the less you'll be affected by the envy of others. The most important thing to remember about envy is that it says more about the person feeling it than it does about you. When someone is envious of your success, your happiness, or your growth, it's a sign that they are struggling with their own insecurities and frustrations. It's not about you, and it's not your responsibility to fix it. However, just as others may envy us, we too might experience moments of envy toward others. It's a natural human emotion, especially in a world that often encourages competition and comparison. There's no shame in feeling envy. What matters is how we handle it. When you catch yourself comparing yourself to someone else or feeling envious of what they have, take it as an opportunity to reflect on your own desires and goals. What is it that you truly want? How can you use their success as inspiration rather than letting it trigger feelings of lack? Buddhism teaches that accepting and acknowledging your emotions is a critical step toward emotional growth. When you feel envy, instead of pushing it away or feeling guilty about it, acknowledge it. Recognize that it's a normal part of being human and then take steps to transform it. Use it as motivation to focus on your own journey, rather than getting stuck in comparison. Everyone's path is different, and someone else's success does not diminish your potential. In fact, when you let go of envy and focus on your own evolution, you open yourself up to even greater possibilities. By breaking the cycle of envy, whether you're the target or the one feeling it, you free yourself from the emotional chains that hold you back. You step into a space of growth, self-awareness, and inner peace. Instead of being weighed down by negativity, you rise above it, allowing yourself to thrive and succeed on your own terms. It's a powerful act of emotional freedom and personal growth, one that not only protects you from the effects of envy, but also strengthens your ability to live with greater fulfillment and wisdom.